You feel out of control. Your thoughts race. Your money disappears. Your mood swings like a pendulum. Here's the truth. You're not broken. You're just untrained. Control isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. The Stoics mastered something most people never learn. True power comes from controlling what's within your control. Today, I'm showing you 7 daily habits that will give you unshakable control over your mind, your money, and your mood. Marcus Aurelius controlled an empire, but first, he learned to control himself. Seneca managed vast wealth, but first, he mastered his relationship with money. Epictetus transformed his emotions, but first, he built daily practices that made transformation inevitable. They understood something crucial. Control is built through habits, not willpower. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover the 7 daily habits that create unshakable self-control. How each habit builds mastery over your mind, money, and mood. The Stoic framework for making these habits automatic. Because here's what I've learned. People who seem naturally disciplined aren't special. They just have better systems. And systems can be learned. Let's build yours. Habit 1. Morning reflection. Control your mind. Mini hook. How you start your day determines how you live your life. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, not about what happened yesterday, about what should happen today. This wasn't journaling. This was mental programming. Your mind is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Morning reflection ensures it stays an ally. Here's what most people do. They wake up and immediately check their phone. They let the world program their mind before they've even gotten out of bed. That's backwards. You should program your mind before the world gets a chance to. Morning reflection gives you that chance. Spend 10 minutes every morning asking yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What challenges might I face, and how will I respond? What am I grateful for right now? This isn't positive thinking. This is strategic thinking. You're setting your mental framework for the day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He wasn't being negative. He was being prepared. When you expect challenges, they don't throw you off balance. I started this habit 3 years ago. Every morning, I write 3 things. 1 challenge I might face today, and how I'll handle it. 1 person I'm grateful for, and why one way I want to grow today. This simple practice transformed my entire day. Instead of reacting to whatever happened, I was responding from a place of clarity. Morning reflection doesn't take long, but it gives you control over your entire day. Your mind is programmable. Make sure you're the one doing the programming. Habit 2. The daily budget review. Control your money. Mini hook. You can't manage what you don't measure. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, but every day he practiced voluntary poverty. Not because he hated money, because he understood it. Money is a tool, but tools can become masters if you're not careful. The daily budget review ensures money stays your tool, not your master. Here's what most people do with money. They spend it without thinking. They check their account when they're forced to. They hope everything works out. That's not financial control. That's financial chaos. Control comes from daily awareness. Every evening, spend 5 minutes reviewing. What did I spend today? Was each expense aligned with my values? What can I do better tomorrow? This isn't about being cheap. It's about being conscious. Conscious spending leads to financial freedom. The Stoics taught that wealth isn't about having more. It's about needing less. When you track your spending daily, you discover how little you actually need. You also discover where your money is really going. I was shocked when I started this habit. I thought I was good with money, but I was spending $200 a month on things I couldn't even remember buying. Small, unconscious expenses were bleeding me dry. The daily budget review stopped the bleeding. Now every dollar has a purpose. Every expense is intentional. This habit doesn't just control your money, it controls your relationship with money, and that relationship determines your financial future. Habit 3. The evening examination. Control your mood. Mini hook. The unexamined day is not worth living. Seneca ended every day the same way, examining his actions, thoughts, and emotions, not to judge himself, to learn from himself. Your mood isn't random. It's the result of your thoughts, actions, and reactions throughout the day. The evening examination helps you understand those patterns. Here's what most people do. They end the day by scrolling their phone or watching TV. They go to sleep without processing what happened. Then they wonder why they keep repeating the same emotional patterns. The evening examination breaks those patterns. Every night, spend 10 minutes asking, what went well today and why? What didn't go well and what can I learn from it? How did I handle my emotions and how can I improve? This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At the end of each day, review your actions and see where you fell short of your ideals." He wasn't being harsh with himself. He was being honest. Honesty is the foundation of growth. When I started this habit, I discovered patterns I'd never noticed. I was always irritable on days when I skipped breakfast. I was always anxious after checking social media first thing in the morning. These insights gave me control. I couldn't control my mood until I understood what influenced it. The evening examination gives you that understanding, and understanding gives you power. Habit 4. Single tasking. Control your attention. Mini hook. Attention is the currency of achievement. The Stoics believed in focusing completely on the task at hand, not because multitasking was impossible in ancient Rome, because they understood that divided attention produces divided results. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's what most people do. They try to do everything at once. They check email while on calls. They scroll social media while working. They eat while watching TV. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Single tasking is the antidote. When you eat, just eat. When you work, just work. When you're with people, just be with them. This isn't about productivity. It's about presence. And presence is where power lives. Epictetus taught, wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. The same is true for attention. Wealth of attention comes from wanting to focus on fewer things, not more. I used to pride myself on multitasking. I thought it made me more efficient. I was wrong. Multitasking made me scattered, stressed, and ineffective. Single tasking made me calm, focused, and productive. When you give your full attention to one thing, that thing gets your best work. When you divide your attention among many things, everything gets your worst work. Choose quality over quantity. Your attention is finite. Spend it wisely. Habit 5. Voluntary discomfort. Control your comfort zone. Mini hook. Comfort is the enemy of growth. The Stoics practiced something radical. They made themselves uncomfortable on purpose. Seneca slept on the floor. Marcus Aurelius ate simple food. Epictetus embraced hardship. Not because they were masochists, because they understood that comfort makes you weak. Voluntary discomfort makes you strong. Here's what most people do. They avoid discomfort at all costs. They take the easy path. They choose convenience over character. Then, when real discomfort comes, they crumble. Voluntary discomfort prepares you for involuntary discomfort. It builds resilience before you need it. Practice small discomforts daily. Take cold showers. Skip a meal occasionally. Walk instead of driving. Sit on the floor instead of the couch. These aren't punishments. They're training. You're teaching your brain that discomfort won't kill you. And when your brain knows discomfort is survivable, you become fearless. I started taking cold showers 3 years ago. The first week was torture. But something amazing happened. Everything else became easier. Difficult conversations didn't seem so scary. Challenging workouts felt manageable. Stressful situations became opportunities. The cold shower was training for everything else. When you can handle voluntary discomfort, involuntary discomfort becomes manageable. This habit doesn't just control your comfort zone. It eliminates it. And without a comfort zone, you become unstoppable. Habit 6. Gratitude practice. Control your perspective. Mini hook. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world. But every morning, he wrote about things he was grateful for. Not because his life was perfect, because gratitude made it feel perfect. Your perspective determines your experience. Gratitude is how you control your perspective. Here's what most people do. They focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what's not working. This creates a scarcity mindset. Scarcity makes you anxious, desperate, and reactive. Gratitude creates an abundance mindset. Abundance makes you calm, confident, and proactive. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. 1 thing about your circumstances. 1 thing about a person in your life. 1 thing about yourself. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about seeing solutions. When you focus on what you have, you see opportunities to build on it. When you focus on what you lack, you only see obstacles. The Stoics taught that happiness doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from wanting what you have. Gratitude is how you want what you have. I used to wake up thinking about everything I needed to do, everything that was wrong, everything that was stressing me out. My days started with anxiety. Now I wake up thinking about everything I'm grateful for. My days start with abundance. Same life, different perspective, completely different experience. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances. It changes your relationship with your circumstances, and that changes everything. Habit 7. Daily learning. Control your growth. Mini hook. The mind that is not fed daily becomes weak. Seneca read every day. Marcus Aurelius studied philosophy daily. Epictetus never stopped learning. They understood that growth isn't automatic. It's intentional. Daily learning is how you stay ahead of stagnation. Here's what most people do. They stop learning after school. They consume entertainment instead of education. They let their minds atrophy. Then they wonder why they feel stuck. Your mind is like a muscle. Use it or lose it. Daily learning keeps your mind strong. Spend 30 minutes every day learning something new. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to podcasts that expand your knowledge. Take courses that build your skills. This isn't about becoming smarter. It's about staying curious. Curiosity is the antidote to boredom, depression, and stagnation. When you're learning, you're growing. When you're growing, you're living. The Stoics believed that wisdom was the highest virtue. But wisdom isn't something you achieve once. It's something you pursue daily. Every day you don't learn, you fall behind. Not behind others, behind yourself, behind who you could become. I used to think learning was something you did in school. Then you graduated and got on with real life. I was wrong. Real life is learning. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. Daily learning doesn't just control your growth, it guarantees it. And growth is what makes life worth living. Here's what we've covered. Morning reflection controls your mind by programming it for success. Daily budget review controls your money by making spending conscious. Evening examination controls your mood by revealing emotional patterns. Single tasking controls your attention by focusing it completely. Voluntary discomfort controls your comfort zone by eliminating it. Gratitude practice controls your perspective by creating abundance. And daily learning controls your growth by making it inevitable. But here's the deeper truth. These habits don't just give you control, they give you freedom. Freedom from reactive thinking, freedom from financial stress, freedom from emotional chaos. The Stoics understood that true freedom comes from self-mastery, and self-mastery comes from daily habits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These 7 habits are how you exercise that power. They're how you take control of your mind, your money, and your mood. Start with one habit. Master it. Then add another. Don't try to change everything at once. Change one thing at a time, but change something today. Because the person you become is determined by the habits you build. And the habits you build determine the life you live. Which of these 7 habits will you start with? Share in the comments. Let's build accountability together. If this gave you a roadmap for taking control of your life, subscribe for more Stoic strategies that actually work. Because control isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. One habit at a time. Next week, how to stop caring what others think. You won't want to miss it. Remember, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control what you do about it.